Welcome to the luxurious private world of Paul Nicholson, the UK's most notorious loan shark. This is him in a new villa in Spain. In just a few years, he amassed a personal fortune of £4.3 million. Allowing him to buy this country estate in Cheshire and all the trappings of a successful business tycoon. The secret to Paul Nicholson's success was simple: lend to those who found it impossible to get credit elsewhere, charge them exorbitant interest, and then conduct a reign of fear and intimidation to ensure they paid up.
You can see here from the books that we have that his empire grew very, very rapidly. And each entry here you can see on one book is a loan of an individual. And there are a number of collectors that...
Well, he's clearly making a hell of a lot of money then. I mean, looking at these, I mean, the percentage on it, he writes the percentage in the corner, look, 90%.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about significant figures. And, you know, he was leading the lifestyle of a pop star.
Paul Nicholson's loan shark empire consisted of nearly 900 customers across some of this country's poorest communities. I arranged to meet a woman who knows what it's like to be a name in one of those little black books. She asked for her identity to be concealed.
Originally I lent £500 and that was to pay bills and me rent because my partner had come out of work and we were struggling. There's nowhere to turn to. You know, we didn't own any property or anything, so we couldn't lend secured on that. You know, and the banks don't want to know you.
Her husband was finding it difficult to get work. In desperation, she turned to Paul Nicholson for £1,500 in loans. The interest and penalties meant that her debt rose very quickly to £15,000.
I had to pay Paul Nicholson, so I couldn't afford to pay my bills and I couldn't afford to pay the rent, and I still had to pay Paul Nicholson. So life was getting pretty desperate by then.
Did you try and explain that to Paul Nicholson?
Yeah, wasn't interested. His favourite saying was, pay me, don't feed your children.
As she fell further behind with her repayments, Paul Nicholson had a helpful suggestion for how she might raise the money to pay him back.
He said, well, I can get men to come and visit you at home when the children are at school. He said, and they won't pay you, they'll pay me and it'll come off your debt. And he groped me and I pushed him away and I just screamed at him.
When Cheshire Police and Trading Standards illegal money lending team raided Paul Nicholson's house in March 2008, they found amongst his belongings £26,000 in cash and a variety of weapons.
It's the bully tactic. It is about the power relationship. It's about having a hold over the community. It's about, you will do as I say. And that's what loan sharking is. And that's why it's so despicable, because it is greed. It's pure greed.
Paul Nicholson was part of a violent ghost economy, one fuelled by a lack of credit. The recession has meant that companies previously willing to lend to those on lower incomes have either gone bust or have had to tighten their lending criteria, leaving many families feeling desperate.